Hello everyone. Hi. Um, so I hope everyone can hear me. Yes, great. So hello everyone. I am Ankita, the founder of Utsav, and today we are here with a bunch of other founder friends from the community, and we have Nimish Jain, founder and CEO of Eyecan. Would love to know about his journey. He is building a virtual assistance product for the visually impaired. We have Shreyaan Daga, quite a buzz with building OLL, the online live learning platform. And we have Bhushan Pungliya, founder of Varlyq Technologies. Would love to know about what he's building and the challenges that all of us are facing. So we'll begin with a quick round of introductions, and I'll start with myself. Then we'll move on to what everyone is doing, what is specific in what they are building, what's the unique things in there. So I'll introduce myself. So I am Ankita De. I am born in Calcutta, currently in Bangalore, and I'm building Utsav, which is India's spiritual network for festivals, for online darshans, puja, and a lot of other things in the spiritual tech. Right. It's been a couple of years we are into this space, solving problems of every Indian probably who are not able to reach to their places of worship. But through us, we are trying to fulfill some of the accessibility that they probably are able to realize. So we'll quickly move on to Nimish. Would like to know your background, why you are building, Ican.
Thank you, Ankita. Uh, I have a mixed background, so let me put this way. I have done my bachelor's from Pune University in BBA. And since I'm a business guy, let's say business management student guy, and although I'm running a tech company, so this is the front, which I'm like, ये करते हैं, मजा आएगा करने में. And in COVID, the real journey started. So I was working with a cybersecurity firm. So I'm a background cybersecurity and with this company called Cinec. So I've been working 2 years straightly in this company, earned some money. And I was like, यार बोर हो रहे हैं, मजा नहीं आ रहा. Screen के पीछे पीछे बैठ के in COVID, it got stuck over there. So let's start something building. So I have done a lot of projects in college in Rotaract Club, where we have interacted with visually impaired. And in COVID, we have all seen, how AI is buzzing out. This is before ChatGPT. So we're like, although AI is grooming so well, self-driverless cars are there coming to the market. And, there is another segment that is for visually impaired. That is like, if India population is 150 CR and keep growing. So the visually impaired people, let's say 100% blind, plus the people who have gotten blindness after some age due to any medical reason is like 1%. That, like growing like 15% every year. So we like, it's a combination of, let's say, social impact plus building something on your own tech. So that is what we started. So business guy from front and tech guy from my hobby, making into passion right now. So I think that's a short intro.
Awesome. We'll move to Bhushan with a quick introduction and his background.
Hello, thank you, Ryan. Thank you, Ankita, for this platform. And I'm the founder of Varlyq, and we are into IT part mostly. So what we do, we have been working for last 3 years, and helping startups mostly to create a platform to help create them a platform that they can market. Okay, so we are into website development, application development, and all other custom software development. So we help them from ideation to prototyping to MVP and to scale their business up. So we help them in through all the ways. And till now, we we got privilege to work with HDFC Bank and RBL Bank and Yes Bank and some other institutions, some well-known brands, some um, great companies, some great ideas. So this was a brief. And my background is basically I have completed my BTech from Indore only, and I've been working from last 3 years expanding my business and working on it. And now we have worked with more than 200 plus startups, and now we are working on some projects of ourselves also.
Wow, that's a lot. How long it has been you have been working on Varlyq?
It's around 3 years, so we have been working from last 3 years on it.
Great, great. We'll come back to more questions. We have a lot to discuss. But
Sure,
after
sure.
that, yeah. Before that, let's move on to Shreyaan. Shreyaan, you have been quite popular these days on social media. If you can just let us know how you it started. What was that trigger point that made you feel that you need to build OLL?
So, hi guys, I am Shreyaan Daga, founder of OLL. OLL is your go to platform for skill development, learning any skill practically. So, we're currently teaching over 20,000 kids daily across India, 65 schools we've partnered with, where we provide offline classes. And in terms of my background, I am an 18-year-old high school dropout. After 10th grade, I didn't continue education, and I am a staunch believer in learning practically. So everything I learned myself practically, I want to provide that opportunity to each and every child कि भाई जो सीख रहे हो वो काम आना चाहिए. Simple है. If we're learning trigonometry, where are we using it? If we're learning Pythagoras theorem, where are we using it? So that one day I went back home and I just couldn't understand entire textbooks, like why do they exist, right? So that's like when I wanted to create something for our age, something that we should use.
Yeah, I think that is something that everyone can relate, right? But it's somehow seems sarcastic that you have dropped out of school and now you are building something that everyone should learn.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
So are you also learning via your platform at OLL?
Yeah, that's my only source of education right now.
Mhm. Awesome, awesome. Cool. So I think even Nimish was saying that he has started from college days itself, right? Nimish, if you would like to throw some light on that, when did you start? How did you form your team, right? How did you know that these are the people I want to work with, and maybe not take up a regular job and build something of my own?
Sure, Ankita. I think lot of years haven't built on to answer this particular question. Right? Uh, it's very difficult, right? When you are first time founders, it's very difficult to identify right sets of people, and you make mistakes, and let be just honest. You should accept the mistakes. So choosing right people, I am not a kind of like I have learned. It took me 3 years now to learn this thing. I am not a right guy. I need, let's say, assistance to find right people. But I'm now very grateful to have a team of, let's say, more than 7 people in house. Right. So I'm the youngest member in my company, and we have all members, upon me. So you should learn what your team members say. Uh, I think planning financially also yields you to, let's say, plan your startup, because there's a bunch of way growing in the market. Let's say I think Shreyaan can also relate to this factor. Okay, startup is very cool. Let's do startup, but I think without financial facilities, it's very difficult, and that's where a question lies. You if you have not done job, or let's say if you are doing a job, leave that job to do a startup. It takes a lot of gut to proceed. I think all of you can relate to this factor. So in my way, I was working, after 12th only with, freelancing, then probably into this company as a researcher called Cynic. So I think, first I have built my financial capability. Matlab, I was not having that much of risk, without financial capability. You just go out and, क्योंकि startup में boss आपको पहले पैसा लगाना पड़ता है, right? It's not easy to raise
Right.
funds. First of all, you have to burn, make people see that you are burning. You have to show this out to the market, and then people gonna invest to your company, right? So up till now we have raised 2 rounds of funding, in third way, almost in the third way, to raise another round. So पहले पैसा बहाया है, then पैसा उठाया है, then अब कमाया है. So yeah, I think
Awesome.
this is the gist of the questions.
Right. So I think all of us here are first time founders, or what about? I think Shreyan is definitely first time founder, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, so this is my first startup. I think one more
No, no,
point.
third time
Oh.
founder.
So tell us about what you built when you were under 16 years of age.
So at least like when I was in my fourth grade, I had learned how to code, and that was my first website I launched to sell paintings online. So it was called livebefore.in. and then I stopped it after 7th grade. And then in the middle, I even started a bank in my school to to give interest loans. So 45% interest ke liye, I used to give loans to my friends. But that was a small scale startup. But as long as it was earning money, it was solving a problem. Startup.
Yeah. Cool. We'll quickly come to Bhushan. Bhushan, let us know if this is your first time as a founder, or is there something that you have built before? Does the experiences, whether you have served in a corporate or whether you have done some other startup, has that experience been fruitful in in your current journey?
It is my first company, like it is my first startup that I am working on, and इसके पहले it was more like college journey, and like college में एक छोटा सा एक startup sort of we started at that time, but it feels like a long time ago because uh, we have worked for the last we have been working from last 3 years only, but जितने क्लाइंट्स के साथ वर्क करा हुआ है और उनके जो जर्नीज को हम लोग स्टार्ट से एंड तक देख चुके हैं, like there are clients who feels more like family or friends to us, like उनकी कुछ problems and we are sitting together and helping them out. Okay. And like let's say
Right.
उनको कुछ फंडिंग रेज करना है, उन्हें कुछ मार्केटिंग के लिए कुछ जानना है, ठीक है, तो इट फील्स लाइक कि
Hmm.
इतने आइडियाज और इतने ऊपर वर्क कर चुके हैं कि कभी कभी लगता ही नहीं कि हम तो आईटी कंपनी है, ठीक है. तो
Hmm. Right.
my journey is like we have been working from last 3 years only, but it's more like
What happened in
knowledge
that?
of 200 projects.
Sure. Bhushan, if you can let us know, what kind of clients you deal with, what kind of projects you work on. Are they Indian clients or clients all across the globe?
Okay, so mostly all our clients are based in India only, and we have worked in different sectors, like with banking, with fintech companies, with in education industry, hospitals, and crypto. तो बहुत
Does it
कुछ
feel like so most of them are startups or they are, big?
Yeah, most of them are startups. Like
Most
out
of them are
of
startups.
300,
So
like
does it feel like
hmm,
So
yeah, so does it feel like working in multiple startups at the same time?
it feels like
Yeah,
बहुत ऐसा लगता है कभी कभी कि बहुत सारी चीजें एक साथ चल रही है, बट it's a great journey all together.
absolutely. Let's get back
what
to Nimish. Yeah, yeah, please go ahead. Okay.
what's your team
Um,
size before, if you don't?
Shreyaan, your voice is breaking. If you can just repeat
Uh,
it once, please.
I'm asking what's your team size, Bhushan?
We are a team of 18. Like currently total members are 18.
Cool. Great. We'll come to Nimish on hiring because he told something very interesting that he is the youngest member of the team and at the same time he's hiring. So how does it feel like, or how is it how do you understand to hire? When I've seen a lot of founders say that when you have to hire smart guys, smarter than you, senior than you, it gets really difficult, right? Because they have got a lot more experience, lot more exposure than what you have currently. But definitely you are the founder, you know your company better, that's for sure. But how do you hire people who are more efficient, more smart, and at the same time more experienced and senior than you?
Okay. Uh, I think I'll answer this question in two parts. Right now, a founder, the role of the founder is, not to hire up to, let's say, 15, 20 members at least. Let's say not, let's say interns you can hire from, let's say, Angel List through LinkedIn or through any platforms, right? But when you are at a, let's say, stage to hire your own core team members, let's say, if I'm hiring a marketing executive, a CBO, a C-level executive, or let's say very close members to you, right? I think that should come from your own network, right? So that is the first point. Right. So I have this personally experienced. We are hiring some guys from AngelList, and that doesn't turn out well in, let's say, just 2 months, 3 months during the time. That is first point. And I think the best way that worked out in my situation, again, this may vary again case to case, companies to companies. I think there are some friends out to your network that is, let's say any random guy in my network, you personally work with that guy, let's say for at least on some X project, not officially to your company, but let's say you have worked earlier or you know someone there. So I think that is best hire you can do. You know, I'll just elaborate one situation. So Ankita, there was this situation in Eyecan some time back where we run out of cash, right? And funding was on hold, and we have to pay employees. Let's say around a big amount. Let's say 2 months salary was due for 7 to 8 employees. That was the senior executives. Right? So we are burning a lot of money over there, and everybody has exhausted their salary, their personal savings, etc. was exhausted. Now what to do? We have to run the company. We have to, let's say a golden hen is coming to my doors, and to catch that hen I have to do and so forth, let's say arrange the money. What is solution? Now there are some friends to your network, especially those are not come officially, those are like totally unofficial to your company. So one of my friend has given me his credit card, ki, Nimish, take my credit card of so and so limit and use that limit. So that thing also has happened, and last point, I'll just conclude this question by saying this last point. uh, See, you have to understand. See, for me it took me time, but I am in a zone right now where you understand, this person is working just for the money, or let's say for your vision. And that is something very personally connected with the founder. If the guy is working with the money, he can get any job, right?
Yeah.
But in the startup factors, I think we all three or four can relate. So that should be something personally connected or personally experienced, the mission you're solving. So that's it, Ankita.
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah. I think I could relate to that very well. Let's come to Shreyaan. I have a couple of questions for you. So we all see the Shreyaan who is not at all afraid or scared of what he's building, or he's cool with dropping out and not completing even his plus two. So Shreyan, if you had to be honest, right, and I think this is a discussion between the founder community, so I think you can share it. If you have to be honest at this point of time and you have to tell what is that one thing that you fear about at this point of time, what is that, what fears Shreyan?
It's a good question. Like, I always thought that, uh, matlab, like in my like entire journey, every single second, it's simply just कि हम लोग कहाँ जा रहे हैं, right? Where are we going? What's the end goal? Where are we going, right? Any kind of decision we make, is it taking us towards the end goal or no? So all I want is that, like, what I want is the 1 billion learners, but what I don't want is anything apart from that. So I don't want to settle. That's my only fear कि मतलब अच्छा रेवेन्यू हो रहा है, प्रॉफिट हो रहा है अभी, तो सेटल नहीं होना है. दैट्स माय ओनली फेयर कि मैं सेटल हो जाऊंगा. ये कंफर्ट जोन में सेटल नहीं होना है. दैट्स माय
Good
फेयर.
fear to have.
Yeah.
Great. I think great question and answered in a great way. Cool. Let's come to Bhushan. Bhushan, tell us a bit about your experience with team building, your experience with working with a team of size of around 20 people, like you said, right?
Yeah.
Also, what are the key challenges that you are facing, right? And then maybe if Nimish, Shreyaan, or I am able to answer to those challenges that you are facing currently and how we can solve them, I think that can be something interesting.
Okay. So in my journey, like we have hired some good people, but at the same time, not so good people. Like uh, they are good in their way, but वो vision align नहीं हो पा रहे थे basically. Like our company is working with one goal and one vision in our mind, and when people come into the service industry, like it's not a like we are not a product company, so we are building a service company here. So when people come and work in a service company, it's a completely different environment, and it's like it's more like a new challenge every day. Okay, new learnings every day, new connections every day. It's more like that. A week you will be working on a fintech product, and next week, I don't know, maybe com, maybe hospital, maybe incubation, anything would come in your way. So the it's more like when you start building a team, तो वहाँ पर जो vision align होना चाहिए टीम का, it's a crucial, it plays a crucial part in your journey. ठीक है. और it happens mostly कि जहाँ पर क्या होता है कि आपके जब clients ज़्यादा होते हैं and you are in a you know you just have started. So it's more like कि आपका जो पर्सनल लाइफ है एंड आपका जो प्रोफेशनल लाइफ है, ठीक है, ये सिर्फ आपका नहीं, आपकी टीम का भी जो पर्सनल और प्रोफेशनल टाइम है, वो सेटल करना बहुत मुश्किल हो जाता है, बिकॉज देयर विल कम अ क्लाइंट, उनका प्रोडक्ट है, वो स्टार्टअप है, एंड दे हैव सॉर्ड इन देयर हेड, ठीक है, दे वांट एवरीथिंग लाइक यस्टरडे, ठीक है, तो टाइम तो है नहीं, जो भी करना है लॉन्च करना ही है।
Just interrupting you,
या
just
सॉरी,
here. Yeah.
am I audible?
Tell me honestly, Nimish, Shreyaan, Bhushan, and I'll also share honestly. Yes, yes, everyone is audible. Do you guys have personal life while working in your startup?
नहीं यार,
Few
वो
hours a week.
लाइफ क्या होता है वो बताओ.
So I'll answer this. So founders don't tend to have a personal life, but let's say you are putting efforts, raising new clients, new investments, so on and so forth. If you are not having a personal life, dude, you're gonna be exhausted, by let's say end of the day, end of the week. You have to,
Yeah.
put efforts to make your personal life. So I have learned this thing. So you have to put.
Great. So, Nimish, in short, so what are the things you do to make sure you get at least 2 hours apart from your work? So when I see my team or I see other founders working, I see they are so much engrossed in their work, right? They feel that after the day is complete, after the team has completed their uh, job for the day, right? Things are closed now. Now I think the founders feel that now is the time when they can think on the strategies, they can think on the business expansion, probably looking from a distance about how the things are working out or not, right? When you are working in the startup, you are so much engrossed in the tiny details, in meeting the targets. Probably you forget that you also have to look from a distance to understand whether the business is growing or not when you look from quite a distance. And that I think helps to understand where we are at, and probably the tiny more inputs that you can bring to the business. And I've seen people engrossed in that so much that their personal space is also into somewhere aligned with how the business can grow better, whether it's growing or not, in analyzing and all these things. So what do you think, like how do you ensure that you have maybe 2 hours of your day doing something that you love, maybe your hobby or something or the other?
The answer is very simple, Ankita. While working, you have to make it in a fun way, right? So in our team, let's say we never make it seems like कि यार काम करना है, ये target miss करना है. We make it very fun kind of activity. Let's say 90% we are on vacation. A point. Uh, I hire my guys on one note. Okay, you are expert at let's say good at marketing, sales, finance. I don't care. बहुत लोग मिल जाएंगे. But tell me something out of the box at which thing you are hired. So one of my teammates make good mixes, if good roles, good music. He's a good driver. On that note, we hire. So let's say on my personal note, so I'm a big sports fan. Sports is something that I love doing, exploring, and I make new friends and I make new investors over there. So make your work. I mean, it's like fun. So
Yeah.
it's quite easy.
So I think the answer is not getting personal space. That doesn't work for founders, but I think it's making the work fun so that you don't need any more personal space and you're kind of chilling out in between your work itself. Shreyan,
I
do you
mean, like
agree? What do you do?
Yeah. I mean, I do agree with key. Like, I'll tell you my case at least. So for like my my office is on the second floor of my house, and my team members are on the first floor, who come from outer Bombay, and along with me on the first floor, and my family lives on the ground floor, and my family is also involved in the businesses equally. So uh, the entire discussion in the lunch table, dinner table, after that, everywhere is just OLL. In the night it's OLL, in the morning it's OLL, and the only time maybe I get is with my dog, to take him for a walk for 5 to 10 minutes. Apart from that, it's just OLL. So that's how, like even the family time is OLL. We all are really engrossed in the business.
I guess Ankita network is a bit situated. So Shayan, I mean, like, hasn't you reached to your saturation level at, let's say, some days, some point, some at some decisions?
Sorry.
Isn't it you reach, let's say, while your family is involved, while let's say you are living with your employees, with your family members at a same building, right? So let's say it's from 24 hours, it's 20 hours to your OLL, right? I was
Yeah.
asking, isn't it a saturation point that hits you in a day, in a moment, and what do you do?
Yeah. See, like discussions get saturated, but ultimately, if everyone is aligned on the same page, then वो कभी you don't get saturated with each other. You like the person, you like working with them. You know we all are going in the same place. So discussion sometimes get saturated, but the people don't change. The people stay, and you have to convince them to get work done. You have to get but saying it say it in a more simpler format, because not many people do this. Like आपका, if you have heard of family businesses in the prior and all, like how they grew it in a big way is they they used to like sit on the dinner table, discuss the business. They used to sit after that, discuss the business. So uh, you know discussions happen, they saturate, but work stays same, people stay same, continue. So yeah.
Interesting. Great. I think my internet was off for a bit, but I'm back. So Nimish was saying something before Shreyan started. So Nimish, would you like to share?
Yeah, I was just saying this one point, Ankita. We usually kind of make our work fun, right? By going on trips, by hiring people on, let's say, some extra curricular activities. You are good at finance, you're good at marketing. What else you can do? What else you can entertain us? So that's something we do. But on some days, I'll just literally turn my laptop off, turn my phone off, and let's say go on a long drive. Let's say totally, I'll just go silent. That just happened, let's say, in a day, 2 hours at night, probably, or let's say in the morning. I think that's something which we have to like forcefully and effectively have to do to, let's say, figure out a personal space. That's it.
Right. Cool. I think let's do a quick, round of kind of votes where we will give validation to Shreyan what he's building at. So Nimish, Bhushan, and I will answer to this. So how many of us feel that whatever we studied in our school or in our college has actually helped with what we are building today? I'll go last. So Bhushan can go first.
My answer would be a very few things. Like I would not say ki all the things are not helping us in the journey, but yeah, a few things only.
Right. And what
Uh,
what are these like? Is it like some skills you have learned? Is it like some knowledge you have
No,
gained?
it's more like
Or
what not to do. Like the colleges and schools can teach you what not to do in your journey. It's more like that.
great. Okay, cool. Nimish, what's your thought on this?
yeah, in school I was a quite introvert guy. So college make me an extrovert. A point. But Shyam, so let me share my point. So I'm a pass out of Pune University, that is like top 10 universities in India at that time. I have just attended first semester of my college. That's it, max. So बचा हुआ 1.5 साल बड़े हम मजे करें. So I think if I summarize my answer in just one liner, college help you to build your network, to explore more ways to figure out jugaad, right? So these are the two top liners word that I use. But I तो ठीक है यार. You are smartest type.
Yeah, even that has been what is in my case. I have done
Yeah,
my
please.
engineering, but currently mainly take care of marketing. How operations are going on in the company, which none of is something that I've learned in school or college. But yes, definitely some things help you build, right? For example, some skills. For example, like talking to people, maybe making friends, like Nitish mentioned about networking, or maybe some things like some extracurricular activities help you develop your skills. So I think those are the things that really help in your schools and colleges, but mostly things you have to learn, right? And I think with the fast paced technology, which is today's topic, which we'll come to, it's been already half an hour, we have been just interacting with each other, is emerging technologies. And what we have seen is with every technology, with every day probably, if we think of 10 years back, right, we used to have the button wala phones, and where we have moved today, right, it's like a hell and heaven difference. So with that fast pacing world, we can never think of what we have studied 2 years back or 5 years back would help us in our journey in the next 5 years, right? It's a 10 years gap, and it cannot ever be matched with what we are learning. So we definitely have to keep learning every day to keep up with the new technologies coming up, to keep up with what we are building. So even if probably the school and colleges would have taught us what is necessary today, probably it would have been outdated, right, till now. So I think for every one of us, that's the case. Whatever they taught us was probably helpful in certain ways, but definitely we have to keep learning. Learning is something that we have to keep on every day and every minute, because the world is very fast moving. Shreyan, what's your take? You want to mention anything, or are you happy with all the validations you've got?
I don't need to say anything for this. I mean, my entire problem statement is what we had.
Right. Cool.
Yeah.
We'll quickly come to a couple of questions which we have for today's specific topic, which is emerging technologies in shaping our future. So the first concept which is written is data privacy. So all of us can share from our own experiences. What steps we take as an organization to ensure the use of personal information, data, and probably with the way we are seeing data being used, right? Probably every so I have seen in my experience. So whenever I am thinking about something or talking with my friend about a particular product or something, the next day I see ads coming up on my phone about the same thing, right? It's kind of scary at times ki yaar, this is not something that I have shared on social media or I have talked to anyone on chat, right? There's something I was discussing in person with one of my friends, and probably these devices or these things can read our minds now, right? So it's scary to people, but at the same time, this is what technology is capable of today. So what steps do you take, Bhushan, right, to take um, to ensure the responsible use of data and to ensure people's privacy?
So for that, like when you build a tech in India, ठीक है, तो वहाँ पर बहुत like we have different laws to for data security to governing laws. But in India, when you build a product, so most of the startups and companies don't keep that in mind. Okay, so they build a product for and they collect the data for their own use, for their marketing purposes, or for advertisement, branding, and all other use. But they don't keep that in mind that they're using users' data, and there are no such laws in India to to protect this. So there are IT Act in India. There is one general data protection regulation, but स्टिल इंडिया में अगर आप स्टार्टअप बिल्ड कर रहे हो तो डेटा प्राइवेसी कंपेरेटिवली काफ़ी कम हो जाती है व्हेन यू बिल्ड अ प्रोडक्ट आउटसाइड इंडिया. ठीक है, सो दैट इज वन थिंग व्हेन यू बिल्ड अ प्रोडक्ट, व्हेन यू बिल्ड अ स्टार्टअप अराउंड टेक और एनीथिंग रिलेटेड टू टेक. आई थिंक एक्ट्स आर द वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग. लाइक यू शुड हैव अ क्लियर आइडिया कि आप कौन सा डेटा यूजर्स का कलेक्ट कर रहे हैं, किस पर्पस के लिए कर रहे हैं, एंड यू फॉलो दैट, स्ट्रिक्टली फॉलो दैट. And if you do not follow that, so there must some actions जो गवर्नमेंट जो ले सकती है आपके अगेंस्ट. सो दिस इज वन
Right.
थिंग दैट जहाँ होना चाहिए. एंड सेकेंड थिंग इज लाइक
Ab-
द डिज़ाइन एंड प्रोसीजर दैट यू आर फॉलोइंग इन बिल्डिंग योर स्टार्टअप. तो जो आप पूरा कलेक्ट कर रहे हैं, लाइक जो आपका पूरा सॉफ्टवेयर बन रहा है, आप उसको किस आर्किटेक्चर और किस वे में उसको पूरा डेवलप कर रहे हैं, दैट इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, ताकि आप किसी भी डेटा को बहुत केयरफुली हैंडल करें. सो दिस आर अ फ्यू बेसिक्स थिंग्स जो बहुत
Absolutely.
इंपॉर्टेंट है, जैसे जैसे टेक इनेबल्ड हम होते जा रहे हैं.
Right. Shreyaan, what's your take on this? Do you really feel Indians are concerned about data privacy, or they are happy to get something for free even if their personal data is leaked?
I mean, not till date they weren't. Recently, iPhones ads and all like WhatsApp's statuses are keep privacy and this that. So that hype is getting created about data privacy. But at least in our case, when we aired on Shark Tank, उसके like उस दिन पे इतने सारे डेटा ब्रीच के अटैक्स आए कि like I had before that nobody cared कि हाँ एक कंपनी है OLL उसके लिए कौन तो अटैक करेगा but after we aired the number of attacks we've gotten was so many but like people like company like we've outsourced our tech so the person who we outsourced it to is an ethical hacker and he protected our thing very well but that was a very good thing that we outsourced it and he was well protected but that feeling कि कभी कोई सुनता नहीं है हम लोग सबने सुना हुआ है डेटा
Mhm.
ब्रीचेस होते हैं डेटा प्राइवेसी अटैक्स होते हैं बट वो खुद को जब होता है ना तब
तब
वो
रियलाइज
फीलिंग आता है कि डेटा का
तब
क्या होगा
रियलाइज होता है यार, सीरियसली लेना है और सीरियसली थोड़ा लेना चाहिए.
करेक्ट
Yeah. Nitish, what's your what take on this?
बहुत लोग नाम गलत लेते हैं, so it's Nimish, right? So I
Nimish,
totally
Nimish,
agree
yes, sir.
with that. Uh, so I belong from cybersecurity background, and I have worked in both the sides. So I was a guy, जो श्रेयान जैसे companies को target बनाते हैं, and figure out a vulnerability and then report and then earn some kind of money. So I was doing that before, and now I'm running a whole fledged company. You know, our users are totally dependent on the application because we provide real-time data. अब you just imagine, एक बंदा road cross कर रहा है, right? And while crossing the road, or let's say while doing any simple task, he's using an application. And let's say there's some DOS attack happening on a server. The servers goes down. उसकी life वहाँ पे threaten हो सकती है. So this is the uh, drawback. And trust factor is something very crucial over here. So from as an organization point of view, I think from our users, they when they wake up from the bed in the morning to the time they go back to the sleep, they use us. So we know where they are going, where they are not going. So I think only thing that from the organization point of view we are doing is creating a trust level. Let's say on our application, users can see whenever he feels like what all data you have on my platform. And we also give the user ability कि boss आप delete कर सकते हो, edit कर सकते हो, and if you don't want, you can you are a safe side. It's okay, you're cool over there. So let's say it's a trust level security that you have to have with your customers from an organization point of view. That's it.
Right. I think quite true, right? The kind of approaches and the way people are educated now, right? More of awareness that is going on. So I think that is something very very important. Cool. We'll come to the next segment of technology aspects, which is one is definitely a lot of memes we have seen going around, right? कि Tesla self driving cars तो बना रहा है, बट क्या वो ये भारत की ये छोटी छोटी गलियों में जहाँ पे गाँव वगैरह आ जाते हैं, cows and all come, will that be able to solve, right? So what's your take on self-driving cars and everything coming up? How do you see that this is something that India is ready for, and at the same time are these cars ready for India? Shreyan can start, I think.
नहीं ये क्वेश्चन मेरे पास आंसर भी नहीं है because I'm myself in a car right now
Yeah.
and इतने गड्ढे हैं इधर बॉम्बे में like if the car will detect कि what to avoid what not to avoid
The car will
this
stop.
there's just too many manual variables इतने ज्यादा हैं कि
Yeah.
AI लाने में बहुत मुश्किल है तो that's why I mean I am out of this question like इसका आंसर मेरे पास नहीं है
Kind of true, kind of true. Even I'm skeptical about how things will turn out. Nimish, what's your take on this? What do you think? Are you aligned with whatever me and Shreyaan feel?
Okay, so let me set the flow first. In Ican, we are enabling a guy कि भाई तू आराम से रोड पे चल सकता है, कितने डिस्टेंस पे कौन सी गाड़ी आ रही है, लेफ्ट में आ रहा है, राइट में आ रहा है, सेंटर में आ रहा है, तुझे क्या करना है. That's a USP. So let's say you can compare self-driverless cars and R tech on a same level for a single guy use, right? So that is one aspect. See, India is of course not ready because there's one more angle to look to the situation. Let's say अगर as Shreyaan is sitting on a car right now, let's say अगर Shreyaan की कार के ड्राइवर ने किसी को ठोक दिया, so the guy who is the driver will go in, let's say, court and jail whatsoever. Let's say if self-driverless cars come to this play, let's say who will be punished? Let's say the car making company, or let's say whosoever. That's again a question mark, big question mark. But let's say from a generative AI use case, or from AI, yeah, it's growing very well, and I will not be surprised when we see Tesla in India, or let's say any other companies in India. So super hyped.
Yes. Bhushan, your take on this?
आई थिंक इंडिया इतना डायनामिक कंट्री है ना कि यहाँ पर इतने सारे, जैसे श्रेयान भी कह रहे थे, इतने वेरिएबल्स है. लाइक इफ यू टॉक अबाउट एआई, तो यार मुझे तो पर्सनली लगता है एआई इज कूल. ठीक है, इफ यू यूज इट करेक्टली यू कैन क्रिएट अमेजिंग अमेजिंग प्रोडक्ट्स. ठीक है, फिर भले वो ड्राइवरलेस कार्स क्यों ना हो, भले फिर वो एआई टेक प्रोडक्ट्स क्यों ना हो. ठीक है, बट टॉकिंग अबाउट लाइक कार्स, टेस्ला कार्स, और तो ये बहुत ही, मुझे लगता है कि इंडिया शायद अभी उसके लिए रेडी नहीं है. ठीक है, क्योंकि इंडिया में इतना डायनामिक सब चीज़ें हैं, इतना वेरिएबल्स है ना कि यू कैन नॉट कवर ऑल दोस पॉइंट्स. ठीक है, आप
Right.
चल रहे हो, यू विल फील लाइक आपको ऐसा लगेगा कि किसी रोड से आप कल ही निकले हो जो पूरा सही था, और अगले दिन वहाँ पे हो सकता है गड्ढा निकल जाए. ठीक है, वो रोड हो सकता है कि कल को स्टार्ट से आप रोड पे जा रहे हो, बट जब आप रोड क्रॉस करने वाले हो तो आपको पता चलता है वो रोड ही बंद है आगे से. तो
Shreyaan
हो
is
नहीं
showing
सकता
his
कि ये
surrounding.
रोड. ठीक है, तो इतना डायनामिक है. लाइक हमने तो गूगल मैप्स को फेल होते हुए देखा है. ठीक है, तो
Right,
वो गूगल
absolutely.
मैप्स जो इतने सालों से चल रहा है, वो अभी तक पूरा खुद को इंडिया के लिए तैयार नहीं कर पाए. तो कार्स को तो उतना टाइम हुआ नहीं है.
Right, absolutely agree. Cool. Coming to generative AI, ठीक है, AI का थोड़ा सा हम understandable और जो accepted version है उसमें आते हैं, right? Let's talk about the hype which is going on. Has generative AI, conversational AI, chat GPT, has almost reached, like everyone has used, everyone is using it to some extent now. What are the, like, let's come to the direct question. So is it something you feel will, is a job versus AI, people versus AI that is coming up? So will jobs and all be hampered? To get more direct, Nimish, let's come to you first. Have you, you know, removed your content writers and using Chat GPT in your company?
Well, I'll answer this question in a separate way. So let's say,
Yeah.
I know there's this hype, when generative AI, when Chat GPT, when Bard will go on, job will be removed. I'll take an example of, let's say, .com burst. Right, everyone has the same prediction and same kind of vibe कि यार मैं एक इंटरनेट बना के ये कंट्रोल कर लूंगा, जॉब निकल जाएंगी. But if you see 2000 era, people were on the same zone and it created more opportunities, more industries, more GDP of the countries has been increased. Similar will go with the chat GPT and generative AI whole concept. That's it.
Right. Coming to Shreyan, what's your take on this? Are you using generative AI, ChatGPT in your own life, in your own company?
या सो एटलीस्ट द कंटेंट क्रिएटर वाला जो काम था वो काफी रिड्यूस हो गया है.
Reduce हो
द
क्या content writers निकाल दिए गए हैं?
कंटेंट राइटर निकाल गया गया है, बट
Oh my God.
ब्रांड मैनेजर संभाल रहे हैं वो कंटेंट वाला पार्ट. बट व्हाट
This
आई
is to
फील
cover it up.
इज,
I feel this is to cover it up.
नहीं नहीं चलेगा. बट what I really feel is that you know at least for us as an education company it's a boon, because लोगों के जॉब जाएंगे तो उनको नया सीखना पड़ेगा, तो नए सीखने के लिए वो LL पे आएंगे और फिर वो नया स्किल सीख
Well,
के
Yeah.
grow करे. So I'm not very happy about कि लोगों के job जा रहे, but I'm just saying they're also
That's an
evolving.
opportunity.
Things change,
Yeah.
people grow. So yeah.
Cool. I think ऐसा सोचा नहीं था हमने किसी ने भी, right? अगर लोगों के jobs जा रहे हैं, that's good because they will learn new skills to get new jobs. That's a new way of thinking. Great, I think.
Yeah.
Bhushan, what's your take on this? How are things from your perspective?
मुझे लगता है ये एक पॉजिटिव साइन है, बिकॉज टेक तो डेली बेसिस पर एआई हो, फिर जनरेटिव एआई हो या टेक हो, कुछ भी हो, तो ये तो रुकने वाला नहीं है, ठीक है. बट हाउ इट्स हेल्पिंग ना कि नाउ पीपल कैन लर्न अ स्किल वेरी इजीली, ठीक है. लाइक इफ यू सी कि फार्मिंग तो पहले भी हो रही थी, तो ट्रैक्टर ने आके ऐसा नया क्या करा, बट इट मेड देयर जॉब इजियर. सेम थिंग है कि काम तो पहले भी हो रहा था, अभी भी हो रहा है और आगे भी होता रहेगा, काम नहीं रुकेगा. बट एआई ने वो काम को करने का बहुत इजी वे दे दिया है, ठीक है. नाउ यू कैन, मतलब मुझे लगता है कि वो सारे लोग मतलब वैसा है कि उन सारे लोगों की जॉब जाने वाली जो एआई नहीं सीख रहे, ठीक है. क्योंकि एआई को भी मैनेज करने के लिए कहीं ना कहीं कोई चाहिए होगा. जनरेटिव एआई है, डेफिनेटली है, बट स्टिल मतलब आप ह्यूमंस को कम्प्लीटली पूरा हटा नहीं सकते, एटलीस्ट फ्रॉम द क्रिएटिव पार्ट. आज भी वहां पर रिक्वायरमेंट तो रहने ही वाली है, और एआई को भी मैनेज करने के लिए कोई ह्यूमन ही चाहिए होगा. तो जॉब्स
True, true.
जाएगी,
I know.
बट जो हार्ड पूरा वो कर रहे हैं कि आज भी वो ऑन पेपर या फिर एकदम रोबोट जैसा काम जो इंसान कर रहे हैं, उन सब की आई थिंक जॉब जाने वाली है. बट जो एआई को समझ के उसके साथ साथ ग्रो कर रहा है, आई थिंक दे आर सेफ.
I
Right, right,
personally
absolutely.
disagree with creative people का job नहीं जाएगा because you know the DALI and art वाले बहुत सारे आ गए. Generative AI, Mid Journey बहुत popular हो गए in the art segment, in the VFX segment. Even in creative part, मतलब chat GPT content create कर रहा है, it's replacing that content creator का creativity. तो creative वाला will get replaced, but what I feel which will not get replaced is entrepreneurs or people who will utilize this to build companies and earn money out of it. तो वो लोग नहीं replace हो पाएंगे is what I feel.
Right. But of course, thinking about creativity as well, what I have seen, ChatGPT is quite good with creativity as well, right? Writing music notes, writing poems. Those are something I think that a normal AI cannot do, right? But ChatGPT has probably learned quite a lot with whatever he's doing. But definitely, I kind of agree with Bhushan as well that whatever you do, right, you cannot rely on ChatGPT or any generative AI 100%. You, at the end of the day, you probably need someone to go through and to validate whether this is something that can go out in public or that can go ahead, right? So I think the check is always needed because again, that's a machine, right? That's not a human, but it's kind of close to human. It's interacting with humans in a language that humans understand, right? Very, very close to humans. So definitely a lot has come, we have seen a lot of changes, but it's not completely replaceable, I think. But then we'll see what comes, right? This is not the end, this is just the beginning of what AI can do, I think. Cool. We'll quickly go on to some next topics that we have on discussing about uh, AR, VR coming up already into the market versus the human touch, the human connection that people have, right? Do you think that AR and VR or any reality tech for this matter is kind of interfering in one-to-one human connection? Let's think of it in a more simple way. Uh, Today's kids, right, who are involved in tech, probably from the age of 2 years, they are using smartphones, which we got, I think, at the age of 15, maybe, right? So this 15 years of, I think, around 12 years, which kids are, into using smartphones or technology. Do you think they'll stay connected with human connections with their families the way we are or the way our previous generations were? And what do you think is the consequence or the pros and the cons of it? I think Bhushan can go ahead with this.
आई थिंक AR VR एंड MR मिक्स्ड रियलिटी ऑल्सो, तो यहाँ से जो पॉजिटिव साइन हमें मिल रहा है ना कि you get a better approach to demonstrate your work. You get a better approach to to present yourself and your work. बट वहीं पर जो नेगेटिव पॉइंट मुझे लगता है, जो एम्पैथी, जो इंटीमेसी, जो रिलेशनशिप अभी तक आपका चल रहा था, आई थिंक दैट इज समथिंग जो खोता जा रहा है इन सब के बीच में। जो वन टू वन कनेक्शंस जो थे, जो लाइक जो आप इमोशंस की, क्योंकि इंडियंस मुझे लगता है दे रिएक्ट टू इमोशंस वेरी वेल, ठीक है। और ए आर वी आर एम आर इनके थ्रू मतलब आप किसी से भी वर्ल्ड वाइड ग्लोबली कनेक्ट कर सकते हो, एंड यू कैन शेयर योर आइडियाज, थॉट्स, एंड बिल्ड अ रिलेशनशिप अराउंड दैट। बट जो इमोशंस और जो इंटीमेसी वाला पार्ट है, यू कैन नॉट शेयर दैट थ्रू ऑल दोस थिंग्स। आई थिंक ये पार्ट एक थोड़ा है जो गेटिंग लॉस्ट इन ऑल दिस थिंग्स।
So Bhushan, you kind of agree that the human connection is kind of getting lost in the process?
Yes.
Yeah. Nimish, what's your take on this?
Yeah, I kind of have a different view to look at the situation. So let me give very vague example. I think since we're all Gen Zs, we can all relate to this factor. Let's say in 90s, how people romance. Let's say they wait for a phone call, or they let's say when smartphones were not there, how people romance, how a girl and boy meet, right? So that's something very different. And when smartphone came, when WhatsApp came, when Geo came, it changes. अब इसका ये मतलब थोड़ी ना है कि लाइक लोगों ने रोमांस करना छोड़ दिया. They have figured out a new way. The same goes over here. If the decade is changing, if AR, VR, and mixed reality is coming, I think people are quite smart. Let's say tech is evolving, dude. People are also evolving. So simple. They're gonna figure out a way.
Yeah, kind of agree, but also kind of agree with Bhushan's point of view that definitely they'll have space maybe for personal emotions or so, but spending time with quality time with friends, family, right? Do you think that will be something that will be catered to through AR, VR, or something, or will it be more like they'll be into it for whatever, like for learning purposes, for entertainment, and not have a lot of time?
Depends. Matlab, the world is full of, the future is full of surprises. So yet to explore that. Simple.
Great. So we have got one votes for each, one from Nimish and one from Bhushan, where Bhushan supports that this is something not good, right? Probably it will destroy, and Nimish supports that people will figure out a way, and probably the human connection and touch would still remain through the new sources. Waiting for Shreyan's point of view here and see which one has more votes.
I like I am like all in with Bhushan on this one, uh, because personally I believe that कि जब तक like earlier it was like हम लोग स्कूल टाइम में घर पे आके वापस नीचे जाके खेलते थे दोस्तों के साथ, and we used to play cricket, we used to play football, we used to have fun. Those memories are more valuable than today's kids who are like playing Fortnite or playing games on their phones. Like those memories are more और हमें अभी तक याद है हम hello, can you all hear me? Hello.
Yes, I can hear you, Shreya.
Hi guys, facing some network issues. Hope I'm audible.
Yes, Ankita, perfectly audible.
Cool, cool, cool. Couldn't listen to Shreyan's complete answer, but I think the audience have, so I'll just go through it later on. Coming to, I think the final round of questions and interactions before you guys have any questions for me. So going ahead with, from your own experience, from your startup journey, if there was one thing in your journey which after, a couple of years now you could change from the past, what would that be? So that basically means a mistake that you made probably will be learning to the others. We can start with Shreyan.
Hello.
Shreyan, you're on mute. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Okay, perfect. So, at least what I feel is like the number that we should have focused on was like we had focused a lot on revenue in the start, but the number that we should have focused on was renewals. And sorry, I'll just continue. So, like the number we focused on was revenue in the start. Like a lot of focus की पैसा कमाना है customer लाना है तो investor को दिखाना है, that we have that revenue. But what I think we should have focused on in the start was referrals, renewals, word of mouth कितना ज़्यादा आ रहा है. So we shifted our entire organization's focus onto that after a really long time, like after 2 years. बट अगर वो स्टार्टिंग से वर्ड ऑफ माउथ, रेफरल्स, रिन्यूअल्स पे फोकस अगर किया जाता है ना, तो ऑटोमेटिकली वो रेवेन्यू एक नंबर अपने आप बढ़ जाता है. सो दैट्स समथिंग दैट आई विश वी कुड हैव डन अर्लियर, a better start.
Sure. Thanks for sharing that. Bhushan, from your journey, if one mistake that you would like to, maybe redo and not make it in the past.
I think when you work in startup or when you build your company, build your brand, so I think do not get lost in the process itself. Like always remember why you started in the first place, or the ground values that you cater. तो जो इनिशियल वैल्यूज है जिसके कारण आप स्टार्ट करो, और आपके जो इनिशियल गोल्स है वाई यू स्टार्टेड, ठीक है, तो जो पूरी प्रोसेस में आप एटलीस्ट डू नॉट फॉरगेट दैट. So always stay to the ground and remember all those things.
You're right. Thank you so much for sharing that. Nimish, from you, if we can hear, if there was one thing in your journey you could change from the past, what would that be?
Anita, can I share too quickly?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure.
Uh, yeah, I totally agree on what Bhushan said. Just don't think on that line कि यार investment raise करने से X number of revenue लाने से मेरा काम खत्म हो रहा है. Enjoy the process. Don't be, let's say, a goal oriented. Be the process oriented person. So that is one thing. Second, most crucial advice that I personally believe, while you're starting anything, any business from any industry, people will come to you and give their gyan. Don't listen. Focus on what you think is right. Focus on your gut feeling, and everything is gonna fall to your place. That's it. काफी ज्यादा ज्ञान हो गया, I guess.
I, I kind of agree with you, right? A lot of gyan you will receive from a lot of people, but just ignore all the noise and just focus on what is important to you, right? I think that I can also relate to a lot. I've heard multiple opinions, multiple people, and at times you're lost in so many of suggestions and so much of feedbacks. That's, I think, applicable to every segment of your business, be it product, be it your marketing strategies, be it your core value proposition. You will find a lot of people with expertise in all these fields coming up and saying that this is something you should, not do or think about. But definitely, it's your take, it's your own decision on what all things you think is something that you need to change and what all you not, because otherwise we'll probably, just be lost. So thank you so much, guys. I think it was a wonderful 1 hour conversation we had. A lot of insights, a lot of learnings, a lot of things we would like to, listen to again. Thank you so much. If you have any questions for me, I can quickly take it up in a minute, or we'll meet again. And I just look forward to more such conversations.
Thank you so much, Ankita. Thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you, Shreyaan
thanks.
and Nimish. You guys are wonderful. Keep doing the
अगर
job that you're doing.
अगर ये किसी और ये कॉन्फ्रेंस किसी और को हेल्प किया नहीं किया, it definitely helped me out to get more perspectives. But yeah, most of all, thanks to Ankita for running the entire show.
Yeah, matlab, I mean, it's quite difficult,
Thank you
just to
so much.
grasp so much of knowledge from one side and be the moderator of this wonderful show. So thank you so much, Ankita, for uh, listening to us.
Cool, cool. Amazing. It was a fun time for me as well. We look forward to more such conversations. And for that, just stay tuned and we'll catch up whenever you guys are around. Yeah.
Done, done.
Bye.